So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I never really thought in my life that we will be living in a society in which this will be acceptable. Okay. So, apparently, people are justifying the Epstein file. Now, I have seen some, you know, people on X saying, oh, move on. The Epstein file is over. Let's move on. I think these people need to be looked into seriously. But obviously, we understand that the government of FBI, CIA, they're not going to do that. Okay. Because the people who mostly get rewarded in society are the ones with the most corrupt morals. And with the release of the files, we now see that. If you want to make it to a higher and higher rank in society, you have to be morally bankrupt, just like these people. So of course you're gonna have people on X who, well, don't believe in a God and they don't believe in a punishment. And so when you're in that position, morals is something in which you don't really care much about. All you care about is the paper, the money that comes into your bank account. That's it. So let's go ahead and see exactly who it is that is supporting this whole entire release. Not the entire, but like, so who are trying to justify the file.
Blackout Coffee. I have been trying, or I've tried their premium. I do. Go grab. Are officially out. They're out, folks. And look, if you're looking for somebody who's going to go through the entire files on his channel, I'm not going to do that. Mainly because I think it's a distraction. I think it's a slap in the face to America. I think it's here's a little treat. I think all of this is a plan, personally. I think they are purposely releasing small amounts of the files. And, they throw a couple of people under the bus but nobody gets convicted, nobody gets arrested, and then everyone just kind of moves on. We got conflicts in other country to distract us from these. For me, folks, I feel like we have all been betrayed. We are taxed on everything that we do in this country. So when we tell the federal government we want the Epstein files and we want them unredacted, people don't have to look at them. Trust me, I have gone down rabbit holes and I have seen some heinous stuff that supposedly was in the files. We should be able to see it. And you can shove the whole, it's a national security risk. The damn Bongino pitch. There's just some stuff that you guys just can't know. Fuck you. How about that? Oh, this is going to be a fun one, folks. I'm done fucking around. So for those of you who didn't know, Dan Bongino relaunched his show, and there are so many people who are not excited about that. What do they call him? The Bongino Army. They should call it the fake and gay army at this point, or the army that conceded to elites and pedophiles. But this is what he had to say. He launched his new show, and he had Trump on, and everybody's stoked. Nope.
So I know a lot of you are.
Before he goes ahead and says that, I just want to go ahead and say this. Anybody who still listens to Dan Bongino after the flop that he had with the FBI about how he was such a patriot and so passionate about releasing the file, if you still support this guy, I don't even know what to say to you, man, to be quite honest with you.
Concerned also about Epstein. Let me just say,
no shit.
Leadership involves frequently being misunderstood and having to make decisions that's going to piss someone off. That's just the way it is. This case had been handled poorly for a long time. And if you go and look at the search warrants, and matter of fact, almost all of it's public now, thanks to President Trump and the team getting it all out there. There's a shitty answer and a shittier answer. And disagreements in D.C. about how to handle level 10 problems. I love how people in the media acted like this was like new, as if the Biden team had done anything to get this stuff out. They done shit. The person I thought at the time.
You didn't do shit either, you fuckhead. Folks, this is why I am starting to get further and further away from the MAGA movement. Because it's no fucking different than the left. It's no different. It's blame the left for everything. How about, Dan, you fucking take responsibility for thinking that you could go into the FBI and do something and you didn't do fucking shit. You didn't do shit, and then you come on your show and you attack people. This is probably the funniest thing that I heard on his entire show. And I didn't watch all of it. It's kind of like sports. You just watch the highlights. I can't stand looking at his head that looks like a damn alien. What a hairline. Just shave the fucking thing, dude. So here he is saying that he's taking back a movement. What are you talking about? Are you talking about MAGA? Okay. What conservative person with half a brain out there is claiming full MAGA at this point? I'm going to tell you what I claim.
You know, it's crazy because there's actually a lot of them out there. And that's the most, like, in my personal opinion, they're the most dangerous people in America today. These are people that they will literally see a picture or a video of Donald Trump doing the worst crime possible, and they will still turn around and say, that's my president. These people will never hold the president accountable for anything that he does. And again, they are the most dangerous human beings alive today. Mark my word.
I claim Jesus Christ. That is my Lord and Savior, and no one else gets my worship. Everyone else gets questions from me. Everyone else gives me answers from our federal government. And if you're a person who just, oh my God, Trump, oh my God, damn Bongino, if you're one of those people, you don't belong here. You don't belong here. If you haven't noticed yet, I know I was a big Trump guy and everyone else in the conservative movement in 2016, but it's all fucking fake. It's all part of the same ass. You got the left, you got the right. Which one are you kissing? For me, I'd rather say, fuck it. I'm not kissing anybody's ass. But here he is. The good old
Yeah, I've said that a long time ago.
Dan Bongino. I'm going to be tough.
I'm here to take back this movement. This movement's been hijacked by a small group of dipshits
Oh, it's
and
not
bums
small.
and losers who are nothing but doomers under the frame of accountability. I'm all about accountability. I just showed you what we did or what we didn't. Did I not? I'm not sitting here going, hey, trust me, bro. I showed you. If you like it, great. If you don't, that is absolutely your constitutional right. You paid for it to go out and go, that sucked. I would have done something different. Okay, but you didn't. You didn't do anything different. I'm not sure if you volunteered to serve or not, but you didn't. You sat in the front row with your popcorn, ankle biting, throwing this popcorn at the ring at two guys in there sparring away, fighting for this country while you did shit. You just talked about it. So you didn't do anything. Now, I'm back on the air. I'm not going to take on every...
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm really glad that Dan Bongino said this because this is an extreme reflection of what's going on right now as we speak. We now see what's in the file. Yes, although there are still 3 million more that needs to be released, yet what we are looking at now should be enough to literally destroy anybody and everybody who's involved in this thing. And yet, nobody's doing anything about it. So to be quite honest, he's not wrong. You may hate him, you may like him, he is not wrong. This is a crime in which, if no action is taken, I have lost all hope for this country.
He really said that on his show. You didn't do shit. Guess what, Dan? You went into the FBI and didn't do shit either. At least we were just watching and saying, okay, you want some of our tax dollars? You want to be on salary? Okay, man, go fucking do a good job because you know what? You talked about it for a fucking year straight on your show. Oh, we got to put these people away. I want mugshots. Verbatim, that's what you said. And then you...
I don't want mugshots. No, I don't want mugshots. Like I said, we need public executions. You know what I mean? This is a crime that is unforgivable. You just cannot put them in prison because a lot of people go to jail, come out, and they continue doing the same crime over and over again. If you really want to prevent things like this from happening in the future, you have to set precedent. You have to set example in which future people will look at and be like, I don't want nothing to do with this. How many people are in jail right now because they're little kid, they come out and then they just go right back to doing it again?
Go in, you become a puppet. You go in there and become the softest dude in politics, just kissing everybody's ass. And then you block me on Twitter for calling you out, which is just the cherry on top of all of it. Biden auto pen, 0 arrests. 2020 election, 0 arrests. Epstein pedophile arrests, 0. COVID, 0. Benghazi, Doge findings, Ukraine impeachment hoax, all fucking 0. So what did you do, Dan? Oh, you know, we made crime less in Memphis. You know what? We don't fucking need you for that, brother. You know what we need? We need the federal government to get off our ass about carrying guns and trying to restrict our Second Amendment. And then when everybody is carrying guns, gunfights will stop, or they will be limited to a very few amount of people. But I can tell you robberies will stop for the most part. I can tell you home invasions will stop for the most part. If a criminal knows that most likely you were carrying a gun, they're not going to mess with you because they're not going to try a person who's a hard target. They're going to try a person who's a soft target. They're going to try a dude who looks like he works a white collar job, drives a Prius, and has his shirt tucked in all day, so they know for sure he's not carrying a gun. But folks, I just want to run through this one more time because people need to know and people need to see it. This is Dan Bongino in 2023. 3 years ago. Remember, folks, he made his show off of being the badass in the talk show center. And now he's trying to pick it back up, and it's just fucking fake. It's all fake, man. And look, folks, I am not stupid. I know if Dan Bongino went out right now and completely blasted the entire thing on the Epstein files, they would kill him. I have no doubt in my mind. He knows it. Everyone knows it. So I'm not expecting the guy to be like, okay, guys, it was a stupid idea to go in the FBI, but here's everything I know. Screw off my sworn to secrecy stuff. I'm just going to tell you everything. I am not expecting that. What I am expecting is for you to go up on your show and say, guys, I apologize. I apologize for not getting the results you wanted. I apologize for not getting the results that I spent years talking about on my show. That's what we want. We don't want this, oh, I'm taking back the movement. Okay, man. Sick.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it.
Do you still stand?
So the thing is that I don't think Dan Bongino understood exactly what he was getting himself into. Honestly, I don't think many of us out there really understand what this whole thing is about. Yes, from the outside, when you hear of something, it's not the same as actually seeing it. Because anybody can hear something and be like, oh my God, that's what's really happening. But seeing it is a whole different story. Dan Bongino literally was in the FBI and he was seeing the videos, hearing the videos. This guy knows what these people are capable of. I mean, you have to understand that these are the same people that are literally committing genocide in Gaza in broad daylight, and yet nobody has been locked up for it. These are the people who waged a 20-year war in the Middle East, talking about a WMD that never existed, and yet nobody has been locked up. These are people that getting rid of you is nothing to them. It's absolutely nothing. So I truly believe that Dan Bongino had no idea what he was getting himself into. And once he saw the file, once he saw what he was dealing with, he knew from the get-go, this is something that I had no idea. I got to get the heck out of here as soon as possible. It's only people with the most corrupt morals will stand by. People like Kash Patel will see what's going on and still sit there at Congress answering questions and look at the people and the American people in the eye and say, no, whatever you saw, you didn't see it. All that is a lie.
By that, Dan, because on your stream the other day, you had the word Epstein blocked in your comment section or your live chat section. You're like Trump when he's like, you're no longer my supporter if you're asking about Epstein. Okay, you're going to try to get us to stop talking about people who fucked around with kids and tortured kids and 15 other things. And you think that we're going to be like, oh, yes, Daddy Trump. Yes, Daddy Bongino. It just shows the lack of respect that they have for the American people at the end of the day. They think that they can fucking pull a whole psyop, pull the drape over your eyes and say, just shut up and do what I say. That's not the American way, folks. That's not the American way. And we better not start getting into the habit of doing that. And I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, because a lot of people, they come back and they say, well, who else would we choose? Kamala? No, but you hold the people accountable that we put into office, that we pay. You hold them accountable. It is not a dictatorship. It is not a kingship. It is not a thing where you just put somebody in place and say, okay, well, you said you were going to do things in order to get elected, in order for us to vote for you, but now you're not doing any of those things, but we have to shut up.
And to be honest with you, this is the only way you can pretty much hold these people accountable. And this ain't coming from me. I just read what he said, and I'm like, yeah, we should do that. I'm just regurgitating what Donald Trump said. Got to do something about these missing children. Grab them by the pervert. Too many incident, fast trial, death penalty. Now, again, this is what Trump said. And I'm like, yeah, Donald Trump, yeah, we should definitely do that, man.
You can't say anything about it, okay? No, you hold them accountable. So once again, Dan arrested, no elites, no major arrests. Lied about Epstein, quit after 292 days, calls us all black-pilled. And now he's taking this victory lap because Trump went on his show and said, oh, you did a great job. He didn't do fucking shit, man. He did a great job at trying to get people to shut up about Epstein. Are people stupid to believe this? It's a legitimate question. It boggles my mind how there are people in Dan Bongino's comments, oh my God, thank God you're back. Dude, fucking retire. Retire. Go to wherever Epstein is. It's pretty obvious he's alive. Why don't you go over there and just shake his hand and say, you're welcome, sir. Anything else I can do for you? Maybe a back massage? Listen to this shithead.
Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right there, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want this video to go on for too long. But all in all, Dan Bongino was a failure. He was. And again, I don't blame the guy for failing in his position because not many people understand this, you know, these people. We don't really understand them. Like, I don't want to say they are human because the way they act, human beings don't act like that. Nor do I want to say they're animals because even animals have self-respect. Animals only act out of their instinct. When they feel threatened, that's when they act. These people do not act based off of instinct. They don't act simply because they feel threatened. These people do this because they are in a position in which, like, they have completely sold themselves to the devil. The devil, their body has become a vessel for the devil to utilize to manipulate each and every single one of us. That's what we're just seeing right before our own eyes. So with these people, you can't reason with them. You can't sit them down and say, let's have a talk. What's going on, man? Talk to me. Let me try to fix you. You can't. With these people, the way you can fix them is by pulling a bullet. That's it. That's how you fix it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you guys up in the next video.